Hey friends, and welcome to the very first episode of The Whole Woman. I'm Faye, and this podcast is all about having real conversation at the intersection of motherhood, business, money, and mindset. And if you've ever felt the pressure to do it all, or be the perfect mom, build the dream business, manage the house, and somehow still take care of yourself, you're not alone. I created the show because I got tired of the highlight reels and the hustle culture that makes women feel like they're never enough. Here we're doing it a little differently. We're telling the truth about what it's like to build a business while raising kids, balancing ambition with mom guilt, and creating a life that actually feels good, not just one that looks good on Instagram. Some weeks you'll hear personal stories and lessons from my own journey, and some weeks I will share practical strategies that you can use right away. And sometimes we'll just sit down together and get really honest about the hard stuff. My hope is that when you hit play, you feel like you've pulled the chair up at my kitchen table, grabbed a cup of coffee, and we're just figuring this out together. So whether you're folding laundry, driving to work, or sneaking a few quiet minutes for yourself, I'm really glad you're here. So welcome to The Whole Woman. Let's get into it. So I was on Reddit Working Moms and I found one that said, I've been a working mom for over 2 years now, and I just feel so guilty still not being a stay-at-home mom. I work because I have to financially. I just feel like complete crap constantly. And this really hit me because the truth is that life is so different now than when our parents or our grandparents were raising kids. And yet we bear all of the responsibility with little to no community and all of the judgment. I want you to think back to the 1950s for a second. The average family income back then was around $3,000 a year, and the average home could cost around like $15,000. One breadwinner often could cover it within some margin. And if you fast forward to today, the average income in the US is around $37,000 a year, but the average home is closer to $400,000. With interest rates around 7%, that means that housing alone eats up so much more of our paychecks than it used to. And then there's childcare. Back then, many moms stayed home because they didn't have any other choice. But today, most of our kids are in center-based care. And center-based care for one child costs over $13,000 a year on average. And in big cities for infants, it can get even worse. Infant care in large urban center-based facilities can cost upwards of $15,000. And I've seen this in my own life too. When I bought my first home in 2016, it was a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot on 6 acres with a fenced in yard. I was paying about $600 a month for the mortgage. If you fast forward to 2021, just 5 years later, and we bought our current home, 4 beds, 2 baths, 2,000 square foot, 12 acres, beautiful, yes, but my mortgage is triple what I paid on that first house. So when you mix rising housing and steep childcare and everything else, suddenly 2 incomes aren't a luxury. They're what many families need just to keep up. And here's the thing that gets me. Mom guilt didn't come from us. It came from trying to live up to outdated expectations in a world that demands so much more financially, physically, and emotionally than past generations ever did. And here's a kicker. The expectations of what it even means to be a good mom have completely shifted. If you were born in the 80s or 90s, you probably remember drinking straight from the garden hose or riding in the backseat without a seatbelt, let alone a 5-point car seat, and getting kicked outside to play all day unsupervised until the streetlights came on. Nobody was measuring your mom by how many Montessori toys she had, or if she packed you an organic bento box lunch, or whether she had perfectly balanced a career while making every single PTA meeting. Our moms were judged, sure, but the list of expectations was significantly shorter, and today it feels endless. Keep a spotless house, work like you don't have kids, parent like you don't have a job, raise screen-free kids in a screen-saturated world, all while somehow staying fit, fun, and fabulous. It's impossible, and yet we carry that guilt like we're the problem. So if you've ever wondered why you feel like you're never enough, it's not because you're failing. It's because the bar has been raised higher and higher without the community, without the support or margin that previous generations had. The question isn't, why can't I do it all? The real question here is, why were we ever told we should? And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Our support has not grown in proportion to what's being demanded of us. Friends who don't get it because maybe they don't have kids or maybe they're living a different lifestyle. So instead of support, you get blank stares or comments that cut deeper than they know. Or family who judge or push back on your boundaries because their version of motherhood looked different and they don't understand why you won't just do it their way. And let's be honest, sometimes the very person who's supposed to be your partner only adds to the load. You're carrying the mental list, the household details, the appointments, the emotional labor, while still being expected to earn an income and keep it all together. The demands keep multiplying, but the support has absolutely flatlined. So if you've been feeling like you're drowning, it's not because you're weak. It's because you are swimming with more weight on your back than any generation of women before you, and most of that weight was never yours to carry alone. So here's what I want you to take away. You don't need permission to put some of that weight down. You don't need anyone in your life to understand, approve, or applaud your choices. You get to define what's sustainable for you. You get to decide which boundaries stand, and you get to stop apologizing for not living up to rules that were written without you in mind. Because at the end of the day, your value isn't in how many plates you spin, it's in the life that you're building for you, for your kids, and for your future that you actually want. You are a part of the people. It's your life, and you should also be pleased. You don't have to sacrifice your peace or your joy to earn your worth. You get to set the boundaries. You get to decide what enough looks like. And you actually get to enjoy the life you're living. If this hit home for you, make sure that you're subscribed because I've got more conversations like this coming your way soon and I don't want you to miss them. See you next time.